Hello and welcome to the first round of the TruBank Des Moines Challenge presented by Discraft. It is a scorcher out there, folks, but we're playing one of the most scoreable courses we play all year. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're the two hot geese.
We're back, baby.
Honk.
Honk.
Did you miss it? I did.
It's been so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're excited to be in Des Moines, even though it is absolutely brutally hot outside.
Yeah, the course design here at Pickard Park really, I think, highlights FPO talent. The designer, Juliana Korver, actually back in 1999, which is just amazing, and she's on the card today. Can't wait to see it.
Yep, named for a famous landowner that rode his bike really far. Look at this OB rate, only 28% on hole 5. Thanks to UDISC for the stats today. They keep us rolling so we can keep you guys listening and entertained. Let's look at our feature card today. Juliana Korver, 78% fairway hits. That's 4th place in the field. Not going OB barely at all. Parking 11% of the holes.
Paige Pierce back after a short break, hitting some circle 2 putts it looks like, and birdieing about a third of the holes.
She's always good at those comeback putts. Look at Kristin Tattar, first place in everything for the season so far, hitting 80% of fairways. That is consistency, folks. 70% of the time she's in circle 2 for birdie.
Dumb.
That is insane.
And Missy Gannon, she's a great scrambler. She's the 3rd best Circle 1X putter this year, and she keeps it in the fairway. Also, great shirt.
Yeah, Missy always looking styling. Right now, though, I think everyone's priority is staying cool. We'll see a lot of umbrellas out there trying to keep the sun off. Hole 1 is a big sunny hole that's very birdieable to start off. A downhill tee shot with out of bounds on the right and left. You want to carry that corner a little bit and land in that landing zone short of that little teeny tree. Your second shot ideally is a forehand, but a backhand turnover works as well.
From Orange City, Iowa, Juliana Korver.
My name is Juliana Korver. I am a 5-time PDGA world champion, and I am originally from Iowa, and in fact I lived in Indianola after I finished my grad school for a couple years. I moved here after grad school, and I was an adjunct teacher, so I worked with a local church in town that wanted to put some money into an activity for their kids groups, and together we got permission to put this course in the ground, and that was in 1998, give or take. I've been in the sport for 30 years, so I have a lot of potential highlights to choose from. The most memorable for me is easily my very first World Championship win. Beyond that, getting the opportunity to play against the men at the USDGC.
Juliana Korver, incredible play again, cashing this year.
Now, as I look back, perhaps even something that I'm more proud of than the world titles. I went on tour the first time in 99, 2000, give or take. I had already gotten my master's degree in computer science, and I put that on the shelf, and I got in a van, and I traveled around. And by the way, the vans back then were not nearly as nice as they are now. I kind of lost a little bit of interest and decided I needed to be adult and do something a little bit more responsible, bring in a little bit more money. And so I went out and eventually got a programming job that I worked for about 12 years, and well, now I'm back here. I actually loved my day job, my programming job. I thought it was incredibly fun and basically get to solve puzzles all day. And unfortunately, COVID took that job away. I already planned on playing the Women's Nationals, and I just wanted to kind of do a drive-by and see how everybody's doing and see my old friends, even though most of the tour are people far younger than my career. I had so much fun, and it seemed like the path of least resistance to follow the tour and to not go interview for another job. I didn't expect that I would be at it this long, and yeah, so it was, I guess, serendipity.
To the booth in Austin, I'm Ian Anderson. That is Hall of Famer, 5-time world champion Juliana Korver.
Jonathan Poole sent me an email, asked me to do commentary, and I politely declined. And he asked again, and I said, no, I don't think so. And he asked again, and finally decided that it was an opportunity that I shouldn't pass up. I've had some good finishes this year, but you know, this can't continue over a long period of time. So yeah, I absolutely intend to do more commentary and a little less of the plane. It's actually difficult for me to quantify what I expect because the earlier parts of my career, there was one expectation: I'm going to win. And if I don't win, I am not happy. In fact, I could win and still be unhappy. And so I actually try not to put any line in the sand that I want or hope to cross in an attempt to try to stay more serene in that realm.
Do you feel uplifted?
Yeah.
I love Juliana's energy.
Me too. And I'm an older player in the sport as well, and it makes me feel hope and feel, I don't know, with age comes wisdom also and experience. And Juliana just lives and breathes that. She's out here just absolutely shredding with people 20 years younger than her, and it's inspiring.
Mm-hmm. Out of Pensacola, Florida, also a 5-time world champion, Paige Pierce.
10 world titles on this card. Impressive.
Nuts. Hole 1 probably plays as one of the easiest holes.
It is
on the course.
The easiest. Good guess, Erika.
Wow.
She's been gone for a couple weeks, and she's still got it, folks.
Our current reigning world champion, please welcome Kristin, Tattar.
So this course is one of the most scoreable, like I said, all year. It's one that we're prepared to just name the list of birdies. I think we're going to see 3, 4, 5, 6 birdies in a row. I think we could see double digits down. It's going to be very exciting. Almost every hole is birdieable by almost every player in the field. So it's a very refreshing opportunity to score while not being a cakewalk by any means.
Elite Series champion out of Beacon, New York. Please welcome Missy, Gannon.
So with Kristin, we got 11 world titles
Oh,
on the card.
Duh.
Pretty crazy. Madison, you're right that it is very scoreable, and they shortened a few of the holes and made it a little bit more scoreable. So super looking forward to it. Seeing these ladies attack today. Everyone in a good position.
Being slightly more left opens up the backhand on the second shot. Juliana probably looking at about 260 to the pin.
What? Hits basket? Yeah, let's see that again. What a start. It's funny, too, because it definitely is more of a forehand shot, and here this is.
Oh, the double feature. Trying to throw it in for eagle.
The old Missy forehand here.
Smoothie.
Yeah, very good. There's a slight headwind going into this green, at least when I came through.
And very slightly uphill as well.
Everyone making pretty quick work of it, though.
2 taps on the basket. We've got a slew of bullseyes.
Kristin a little inside, but still only 18 feet to go for birdie.
Yep. The out of bounds line right around 28 feet from the basket. 54% of the field taking birdies here and only 11% taking bogeys. Not a lot of mistakes on hole 1. A very friendly start to the round.
Yeah, I feel like we don't get that many of those. Like, here you go. Here's a birdie. You
Yeah.
can do it.
Coming off Portland with Portland.
Oh, some of the hardest
Yeah.
opening holes on tour.
Glendower East and West, both just brutal hole 1s. This is Pickard Park, by the way. I don't know if we've said that.
I
And
did
we got a
earlier.
star frame.
Yeah, we do.
Hey. Everyone's under par. Look
Everyone.
at everyone.
Look at them go.
Yep. Nice, friendly starting hole. And we move on to hole 2.
Hole 2, you start by crossing over this out-of-bounds tall grass area. Landing somewhere past that tee pad is a really great place to be, past the trees as well. Second shot is pretty far. What do you think, like 350 to 400?
Depends on how much you bite off the corner,
Yep.
but it is far and it's uphill.
So you see a lot of straight shots or hyzers off the tee, and then it's kind of a straight shot on a right to left sloping fairway up to the pin. Kind of a separator. Like, that second shot takes some distance to get there.
Yeah.
Not a gimme.
No, if you land out of bounds, you do have to go to a drop zone
Right.
that is not recoverable from. Yeah.
I saw someone almost do it.
No
She got
way.
to circle's edge and splashed out. So it's theoretically possible, but very difficult.
There is no OB on the left side as you get further or closer to the basket, but you do not want to go in there. It is absolutely brutal. One of the thickest woods on the course.
Paige ripping her ESP Zeus and actually getting past that group of trees.
That
Really
was a
impressive.
smash.
Mm-hmm. Kristin in a really fantastic spot as well. That's more of the typical landing zone. Paige got so far.
A lot of tee shots here at Pickard Park have this up and down effect where you're throwing over a kind of a gully in it. So it looks downhill. It feels like you're throwing downhill, but in reality, you are throwing at the same level. Just like a very fun looking shot.
Missy, that's kind of the typical mistake, pushing it a little straight, making sure you're not messing with the out of bounds. She could potentially reach the pin, but it is definitely a rip.
She gets every bit of it though.
Yeah, looking good.
Wow.
Okay, cool. Big arm Missy. She still gets me sometimes.
A rightful
little-
flex.
Yeah. Juliana leaving it out to the right and fading inside the circle as well.
Yep, and that's why you want to bite that corner off. You definitely have a lot closer to the pin to approach from. It is more uphill though.
Yeah, and sometimes you get pinned behind those trees. Kristin going forehand.
I really like this play. There's so much airspace over there.
Yeah, and checks up on the hill instead of potentially skipping down. Though in this tall, moist grass, you did not get a lot of skipping today.
Yeah, it is lush. You can kind of bank on your disc to just grab.
I know Madison did say it was hot, but I mean, it was over 90 degrees and sweltering. It felt rough out there.
Yeah, the UV was over 9 out of 11, and you could feel it. Hole 1 already sweating.
Juliana for birdie.
And no wind. This is like a rare time in disc golf where we're just praying
You're like,
for
please,
wind.
just a nice cool breeze, just a tickle.
Oh, lots of right side chains for Missy. She'll have to settle for the par.
Oh, Paige splashing out too.
Only 13% of the field taking birdies here. That's 6 competitors.
I was going to say that they are all making it look easy, at least to get to the green. Like, you don't usually see quite as many circle 1 putts. You see a lot of circle 2 bids. And Paige Pierce, the comeback queen for sure. Making good for par. And Kristin gonna tap in. That birdie, she's absolutely parked.
Yeah, what a flex here. The only birdie on the card from the bullseye.
2 for 2.
And we go from the wide open into our first wooded hole. It's one thing Pickard Park does really well. It's a nice mix of park style open golf and then throw in some really tight, shorter, very technical wooded holes. Hole 3 is a downhill shot with a really cool little built up tee pad. Lost some trees since last year. It opens up the shot big time, especially right here on this corner. You see those stumps where trees used to be. Forehand is the play here. You want it to come and maybe skip in those wood chips and gently land on this green. If you come in too fast or too high, that water is very reachable. It's right around the circle's edge, past and right of the basket.
I love this hole.
Yeah, it's fun.
And I think the trees they took away were so smart because it felt like you had to get a little lucky to get there, and now there's a very defined line.
Yep.
And that line calls for a forehand just like this.
Oh, so they took the trees out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Kristin
okay.
Tattar with a VIP Fortress. That's what I was told by a local anyway, so I apologize if that's not correct. You know us and our probable facts and statistics.
Juliana going backhand here, catching one of the last trees before the open. She'll still have a kind of a circle 2 jump putt from there.
Yeah, you're usually pretty happy even if you just get across that ditch halfway because it's not too hard to scramble usually. The backhand is so tricky here. Paige trying the backhand line with a fierce, really pretty.
Things you want to avoid early, left and right, can be so hard to recover from. it can even be tough to get a bogey from there because they're so densely packed. It's sometimes tough to get out of there. Also, kicking late and kicking right early, you can find water. The water's super high this year.
Yeah, Missy was potentially challenging it, but she does stay in. I thought we might see a Missy forehand here.
Me too. This one's nice because of the big downhill. You don't have to have as much power.
Missy gonna lay up from a wide straddle, settling for the par. Dangerous putt here for Juliana. The water is, how far you think, 15, 20?
I thought it was a little bit more than that, like
You think
25 or
so?
30, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Sure.
I'm
It's
not
somewhere
think-
between 20 and 40 feet.
I'm not thinking about it. 17% of the field taking a birdie here. That's 8 competitors out of 46.
Oh, Kristin, 1 inch low.
20% of the field getting to circle 1. Wow.
Yeah, I think
And almost
possibly removing those trees was a good move.
Yeah, almost 50 getting to circle 2. So definitely playing a lot easier than last year.
Still tricky, though.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of the holes out here at Pickard Park just keep you honest.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not going to get away with a lot of funny business. Like it's not an easy course, but it's scoreable.
Yep.
It's going to have a par frame there.
We see Holland handling Emily Beach, throwing down some birdies.
Hole 4 is all about risk reward. It's a par 3, 431 feet downhill, so reachable. Obviously, it's a water carry here. If you want to get risky and throw over the water, you can totally get a putt. A lot of women going to bail out a little bit early left. Anything that goes out of bounds goes to a drop zone. That's a death putt straight at the water from probably around 40 feet. Yep. Maybe slightly longer.
Just behind the basket from the tee pad. Kristin taking that risk. Going huge.
This is an orbit rive, and that is so good.
It's funny that little low-hanging tree branch on the green can so perfectly get in the way of so many approaches and long drives. We'll see if Kristin has to deal with that on her putt.
Juliana, looks like a turn. And that's like pretty typical. Kind of, giving yourself a look at it, but also just very safe the whole time.
Yeah, a lot of people decide not to fight the battle here.
Oof. Paige be fighting. She's going Zeus, hanging it way out wide.
Super low and overshoots the basket.
Yeah, she's going for the MPO pin.
I mean, that barely made it over.
Ooh, Missy going big flex. This is a Jawbreaker Z Thrasher, which looks a little bit more stable than her typical
Wow.
Thrasher. And let's go, Missy. Okay.
We already have 2 flexes from Missy Gannon today.
I am loving this new look she is doing. The Missy Flex.
Only 6 birdies on the day today.
Paige a little high on her birdie bid.
And at a downhill 430 feet. This is a tough one to get.
Is it?
Is it?
Kristin Tattar doing what she does best, just making it look effortless. 3 down through 4. Dang, how about Missy parking it, though?
I know. Are we allowed to even call her sneaky distance Missy
No,
anymore?
she's big arm Missy.
She's just official
She's
flex
I'm calling
Missy.
her big flex Missy.
That was huge. And I mean, she's one of only 6 today.
Awesome. And just gonna make that my screensaver on my phone. Plus, like, the friend high five. Like, oh man, it was a perfect moment.
It was such a good moment. Emily Beach 3 down through 4, finding some birdies with this very lefty friendly course, especially in the front 9. Hole 5, one of the most fun holes on the course, 275 water carry almost the entire way, a little elevated basket on this short front to back green. This is one that you feel like you just absolutely have to get. You'll see mid-ranges, you'll see fairway drivers, you'll maybe even see putters. Didn't even think about the forehand, but I love this play.
Ooh, that might be short. So anything that's out of bounds goes to a drop zone. It's pretty far. How far do you think that drop zone is?
I would say 90.
You think it's? I think it's
Maybe
closer to
farther than
circle
that?
2. No, the drop zone.
Yeah.
It's kind of maybe you're right. It doesn't matter. Missy's in bounds. This kid loves it.
Yep. It's a little bit of a water carry. They added some hay bales on the left-hand side.
Love that.
Yeah, very friendly.
Juliana looking good here. What a shot. Also, love the crowd here. They call themselves the Hive. 3 dudes wore bee suits and they had to have been sweating, but it was worth it. So thank you to those guys.
Keeping everyone hydrated. I think that's why they're the Hive. So the only thing you want to avoid here if you're landing safe is going deep because those bushes are absolutely unruly. It's so tough to get a putt from in there. Very low ceiling.
Yeah, you see a lot of layups. All right, okay, so it's far. Not really worth going for it. Missy up first for her birdie bid.
Little
Do it for the Hive. The Hive! What a great putt.
Yeah, they do a wave right when you walk up to the tee pad on the bleachers, just out in the balmy, extremely hot sun.
Yeah. Very fun vibes.
Paige and Missy both sneaking it in low left, but that's all you need. This played is the second easiest hole of the day, again with over 50% of the field birdieing.
Yep, one of those birdie or bogey holes typically.
And a bullseye putt for Juliana to get her birdie.
3 birdies there. Kristin gonna drop back with that bogey stroke. Dang, Emily Beach leading the way here, 4 down through 5.
Holland Hanley right behind her. Valerie Mandujano having a nice strong comeback round as well.
Yeah, good to see Valerie back in action. Hole 6 is a par 4. It's 575 feet. If you want to throw a backhand that kind of pushes that left side OB just a little bit to open up the second shot, that out of bounds kind of wraps around the pin and kind of close behind it, depending on, I'd say it's closer on the right than the left. The right side is all inbounds. It's just death. Don't do it. Second shot, typically you're throwing a forehand. It's quite a harsh curve for a backhand anhyzer, but it's doable.
Yeah, and that corner, even though it's not out of bounds on the right-hand side, if you go in early with a sidearm or a backhand turnover, it can be brutal to get out of. Very, very thick rough here in Des Moines.
Not that either of us would know with all of our skills. So Missy in a good spot, but you do want to be a little closer to that out-of-bounds line like this. Kind of feels a little scary off the tee, but it's going to really open up that second shot nicely.
Huge hyzer from Paige.
Yeah.
Pushing straight for a while.
That is smoked.
Wow.
Look at it. Look at it.
She can see the basket. She can see the basket.
I'm out of words. They're just noises now.
It's 575, and she's almost pin high. So, like, she's, what, like 500 feet? What the heck?
That's crazy.
475?
Some kind of math for sure.
There's,
She's
like,
up there.
Numbers. Far. Basket.
Smoked, man. Juliana, work in the backhand. You can see the extreme angle that you have to put it on, and then you kind of have to sneak it under some high branches. She turns it just a little too much, it looks like, and is on the edge. She might have a look.
Yeah, hopefully it's pretty shallow. Missy going with the sidearm, pushing a little straighter than you want, playing with that OB line. Oof.
Yeah, I like throwing at the OB line, but with something very overstable that kind of fades into the gap.
This shot is deceiving because I think it looks farther than you actually need.
Yeah.
Because you're so worried about hitting it in that corner, you give it a lot. Oof. Kristin, though, just doing it perfect. Bullseye, magnet, in effect.
Look at this. Just a little casual beach toss to a friend. Actually, she goes a little long. Might be a little awkward from there.
Missy throwing 4 from OB and just laying something up here.
Juliana with a circle 2 look, working around some trees. Maybe just laying up, actually.
This hole scored really well for FPO. 25% of the field getting a birdie.
Dang.
Yeah, Paige not quite able to convert.
Vanessa Van Dyken was on my card, and she ended up in that spot as well. It's like surprisingly difficult.
This hole scored just like it did statistically. 1 birdie,
Whoa.
2 pars, 1 bogey.
That's so math.
It's super math. We love that.
Okay, well, I love this. We should all keep doing this. Just tomorrow, we both need to flex when we do something really cool.
Maria
That's so
Oliva
funny.
sliding up into singular second place, 4 down. The very uphill hole 7, 345 feet. For the MPO, it plays on as an island, and that's why it's all fancy looking. For us, it's just uphill and 345, playing closer to, I would say, 450, maybe. The basket's slightly elevated. This is going to be one of those holes that you're just getting par on, but this lead card does have some big arms that can potentially get longer putts. I'm going to say that, and they're going to put it in the bullseye.
I know. I'm hesitant to say this, but I'm just going to go ahead because no one... Okay, never mind. I'm going to hold back. I think this hole is boring.
It is. I think it's very boring, too. It's kind of
But not when you do that. That was sick.
That was sick. This is kind of a turnover off the tee pad. There is out of bounds on the left and right I didn't talk about. You can't see it from here because it's so wide. So there's lots of room to work. And if you're aiming at the basket, you don't super have to worry about it, especially with the lack of wind that we have this weekend. But I would call it, most of the field would call it boring.
Yeah. Juliana landing in really a solid spot, but kind of typical outside the wood chips. Long circle 2 look.
Paige pin high. Okay.
I know. We just have to get better with this.
Well, let's look at the stats here.
Okay.
As we see, big flex Missy getting
Come up short.
not even barely to circle 2. 7% of the field got to circle 1 in regulation, and 28 got to circle 2. So this hole is hard and slightly boring. Not that much fun for scoring. This is a very normal play here. We see from Juliana just laying up to this elevated pin, not trying to get too crazy. These wood chips are skippy, so if you blast past the basket on your putt, you can have a big comeback putt.
All right, Kristin for the elusive birdie. Ooh, too elusive. We can see the breeze did start to pick up midway through the round. Just a little bit. Just enough to cool you off.
I was hoping for it the whole day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Paige, big birdie.
One of only 4 on the day. 4 out of 46.
Who else got it?
Jennifer Allen, Lisa Fakis, and Holland Hanley all carding 2s.
Everyone else going to tap in the par here. Yeah, I think it might be cool to do maybe a shorter tee pad and make it an island or something like that.
I like that. Or like a little mini island.
Mini island.
Yeah, like 250-foot mini island.
Oh, okay.
Love
I
that.
thought you meant like make the island smaller. That sounds like so much work.
Through hole 7, everyone's under par. That's what we expect out here at Pickard Park.
Well, hole 8 is a pretty fun downhill bomb. It's a par 3, 420. That's longer than I would have thought, actually. It plays shorter than that. Left side OB that doesn't really come into play unless you buzz by the basket and get a bad skip. There's OB that wraps around behind it as well. You see a lot of women throw like either a straight fairway driver. You see some mid-ranges from the big arms, and then you also see some like faster speed distance drivers that are thrown out to the right that fade in at the end.
Being able to throw a slower speed disc is such an advantage here because it is a straight shot that you don't want to have to work over to the right, like you have to do with distance drivers or get something flexy.
Yeah, so Paige going Z buzz, Kristin going gold line claymore. So just some nice, fairly straight, maybe slightly stable mid ranges.
I love how she put that really high and let the glide just take over.
Gorgeous. Juliana going with her star turn here. And this is that right side play, and you just need it to fade because it is garbage over there to the right. It's inbounds, just rough.
She finds her way just inside the circle.
Yeah, well done.
Barely scraping that right edge.
And big flex Missy going ESP swirl mantis. So also a little bit slower speed disc. It's to circle 2, it looks like.
I like that play okay. It's just, this is a death putt now. It drops off behind the basket.
Yeah. Yeah, I laid up and got a mean little, not laid up, but, kind of half go, and then got a super mean roll down the hill. I was surprised how far it rolled.
It happens. It's right on the edge. Missy and Juliana both hitting the tiny lighthouse.
Kristin makes good on her birdie.
I love her little straddle follow through. Fun to watch. 26% of the field getting inside the circle for birdie, 30% converting.
Paige for birdie. And matches Kristin at 4 down now through 8. Great putt.
Yeah, super solid putting.
And now everyone's going to say hi to the course cat that lives on the next tee pad, and we'll round out the front 9.
And what a sweet little cat it is.
He's so cute.
He's so nice. Kind of expected a few more birdies from our feature card on this front 9, but I think the back is a little more scoreable. While you can also get into more trouble, I think there's more birdie opportunities.
I disagree, actually. I don't know. I think there's a little bit more in the front.
Hole 9 is one of the ones that's kind of, I would call it a bonus birdie. I think we're going to see people get inside the circle on our feature card, but it plays much longer than the 290 listed because from the tee, it is so steeply uphill. A lot of times people won't even tee off from the front of the tee pad. You can see Paige starting way back, landing in the middle of the tee pad where she releases.
It's so uphill. It's crazy.
There is out of bounds all the way down the right and left side wrapping behind the basket. You want to throw something that pushes straight, but usually that's a little bit of a flippier disc, so it doesn't hyzer out. That out-of-bounds line is really easy to find on the left-hand side if you try to force something overstable up this hill.
Paige gets her ESP passion into the circle for a birdie putt. This is Kristin with an Orbit St. Pro. More of a typical landing zone. Paige annihilated hers. It's very good. Juliana with a star light turn. Putting it way up in the air. And getting to maybe circle 2. You
can see Missy's disc pushing right just a little bit, and that is just what you want to get that very straight finish after it crests the hill. This nose up shots are so hard to get to carry once it gets up and over the hill. Only 4% of the field getting to circle 1.
Yeah, this is the other one I would call a little boring. Like, it's kind of an interesting tee shot, and I don't mind it, but I wish the basket was maybe just a hair shorter to make these, like, real putts.
Yep, the MPO basket is on that little DMC decorative wooden thing. Our basket is probably, 25 or 30 feet shorter?
Not even, 20.
It might be less, yeah. And I think it'd be, like Erika said, more fun to have it
just 20 feet closer.
Yep.
But Paige here with a highlight birdie.
One of only 3 on the day. Holly Finley and Holland Handley also getting it. Holly Finley drained like a 60-footer
Sweet.
for hers. But mostly par, 74% of the field taking pars on this hole 9 to wrap up our front 9 of round 1.
Yeah, everyone on our feature card under par. Emily Beach leading the field, 6 down through 9. Paige, Pearson, Holland, Hanley, 5 down. A couple, let's see, Kristin, Tattar, Maria Oliva at 4, and then a bunch more. You guys can read. You don't have to hear me say it.
Yep, everyone under par in the top 15, it looks like. Many more birdies to be had. I think in the next days we'll see even more. There is supposed to be a storm tomorrow, so you guys enjoy the sunny weather, even though it's brutal out there.
It's so much worse than it looks on camera.
I think it's going to make everyone really appreciate the storm that's supposed to come tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then a beautiful Sunday to wrap up the weekend. I think we'll see lots more birdies as the time goes. We got 9 more holes, though, and they are very fun to watch, so come hang out with us. The Two Hotkeys, we're back. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. Honk.
Honk.